Hi, good afternoon. This is God's Table. I'm here this afternoon to have an interview with my daughter. She's been giving me headache for a while that she wanted to speak to me, have an interview with me, and I am ready for her. And this table is where we speak about Jesus. So we speak Jesus, do Jesus, eat Jesus, anything to do with Jesus, and we spread the good news. So over to you, my daughter.
Hi guys, hi God's Table. Yes, I've been hounding my mom to get an interview with her because she's an amazing woman. So we're going to try to encapsulate her amazingness into maybe 30 minutes or so. So Mum, let's get started. So Mum, you are an inspirational woman, you know, you're a mother, you are a mother to many, not just us. You know, you're a sister, you're a good friend to a lot of people. So I want to know, you know, and we thank God because you've recently celebrated a big birthday, a big milestone. So, you know, my first question to you is what keeps you going in life? Because, you know, there's many ups and downs in life. There's many obstacles. Life is a roller coaster. So I feel like you're qualified. You're qualified to, you know, really assess life now and say, you know, what keeps you going? Because life isn't easy.
Yeah, that's true, Tomi. Life is a roller coaster, like you said earlier. But what keeps me going was because let me say I have gone through a lot of hardship in my life because my mother died when I was very young, 15. And you can imagine at that age, you don't have much people to help you. I depended on my father, but my father couldn't cope because my mother had 8 of us. So you can imagine. So with 8 children, with a man who was a provider, but he had a wife who was looking after the children while he goes out to make the money. And then when things then scattered, because things scattered, then the only thing I can depend on was God. And God has always been taking me far. And then getting married again, having children with someone who, I wouldn't say wasn't ready, but it was a mommy's girl, mommy's boy. So somebody who would rather listen to somebody else's. But when you were young, obviously you think, oh, it's something that can change. But it didn't change. So having God with me, praying, you know, things to do with church, really, to be honest, and meditating on the word of God. And also, even if the hardship falls on me, where frustration comes, I just keep quiet. So that keeps me going rather than talking to people like, this is what I'm going through. I don't discuss my life with anybody, but I will discuss it with God. So this is why you can see me, that I'm still going on, you know, and obviously being a grandmom, a lot of children around me, and so on and so forth. So this is what has kept me going for long. And it's still going to take me to the end of my life because that's the way I am.
So we're looking back on your life and everything you're up to. What would you say is like one of your biggest achievements in your whole life? I know it's probably a difficult question because I'm sure there's many achievements, but what was maybe a pivotal moment in your life that you can remember that?
I would say the first time I bought a house was something that I was looking forward to because when we first came here, the council gave us a house anyway. And it was a nice place in Putney, but because it was a council flat, I was never satisfied. So buying a house for the first time was something that I can say that I climbed the ladder to do, and I was quite happy about it. The second one was the move I took to Nigeria. So I took a great move to Nigeria, which I really liked, and I was able to achieve a lot, but I thought I know Nigeria, but I didn't realize that I didn't know Nigeria because I only lived 16 years of my life in Nigeria. You know, my mother took me away from this country when I was 3.5 years old. And I came back to England when I was 20 or something like that, going to 21. So you can imagine. So I thought I knew Nigeria because I grew up there, I had friends, and I thought I needed to achieve something in Nigeria, but I think I failed myself. But I wouldn't say so because I did a lot in Nigeria, and if I look back, I'm thankful to God because if I look to the future now, I can point to a lot of things that I had achieved in Nigeria, and I can always go back to, you know, to see to it, you know what I mean? And also having a great grandchildren also is a big thing that I've achieved because I have a lot of friends of my age today that is either they're rolling in one sickness or the other. They don't even have grandchildren.
Yeah.
They're changing husband. You know, life is not okay for them. So I thank God. And also seeing my children is glorious to me. So those are the things that I can say. And I'm still achieving.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that answers your questions.
It does. So who inspired you most growing up? If you did have anybody that you looked up to at all?
I would say, let me have a look. To be honest with you, I'm not going to say I haven't seen, but the thing that I would say that inspired me is me knowing God and hearing the voice of God and the direction of God. Even though I make mistakes, because sometimes God will tell me to do things, I will hear the voice audibly, but because there was nobody to train you, you know, even you go to all these churches thinking that, maybe if you tell this one that, listen, there's something that I heard, I'm not very sure. Instead of them to help you, these African churches, they want to bring down your power.
Yeah.
So I would say the person that inspired me the most, to be honest, in my life is Prophet Eseku. You know, we call him Granddad. He was the person that inspired me. He made me to understand, even when God speaks to you, how you can handle it, how you can give messages. So, to be honest, I will never forget that man. No matter what the situation may be, even in the past, but he was my great inspiration in life.
Yeah, I remember you did look up to him. And how did you balance, you know, raising a family and building a career, you know, because my children are young and my family is young, and sometimes, you know, it's sometimes difficult balancing. Sometimes you feel mum guilt, like, oh my gosh, I haven't really done anything with the girls, or, you know, so how do you balance raising a family? How did you balance it, raising us and also building a career as well?
Yeah, it's a very rough road, I must be honest with you. The road was not very smooth at all. Normally what I did was, because I had the first three and they were like 4 years and 6 years apart, we put them all together. My first daughter was kind of very clever. So if I, say for example, I need to go to work and you're on holiday, I would have to tell her how to go about things. Like she will have like, when this one wake up, do this with this and things like that. And it wasn't really easy for me, because even working out there as well is the thing that I have to make a phone call to find out that, you know, to find out if everybody's okay, if everybody has eaten. So it hasn't been easy for me. And it's not that I have friends around that I can trust with my children. So I have to groom my children to love themselves, to work within themselves. And it's worked for me, you know. So say now we will travel a lot to Nigeria. And while I'm in Nigeria as well, they will look after themselves while we are working downstairs. You remember that? And then when I have to travel, I have to also leave the children with their dad. But I believe that is the big sister that will keep an eye on them. So it wasn't easy for me to balance, but I just have to rely on God on anything that I do. My balancing is in the hand of God. I work with God. So this is why I can move on with life, you know. Even coming back to Britain, it was not an easy road at all, because I got rid of everything, thinking that I wasn't going to come back to England. Like I said, that I thought I understood Nigeria, not knowing that I was going into hell. You know what I mean? But coming back was very difficult. But now I can thank God, because this is one thing they said, that when you are growing up, make sure you have 2 careers. Get yourself educated and get something that you like doing. So obviously, the education that I had made me to move on now in life where I am today. So I'm thanking God for that, you know. So balancing is not an easy task, but yes, I tried. I walked around my children.
And something that I'm very passionate about is business. And, you know, it wasn't something that I ever thought. I didn't realize that, you know, I'd be a business person, to be honest. But I think, you know, the salon that you opened when I was 14 or 13, was I 13 or 14? I can't remember. You know, that played a big part into the entrepreneur that I am today, because without me realizing, it kind of showed me how to make money on your own terms without having a boss. But I didn't realize that those seeds were being planted within me from young. I was just being a child and being obedient to a parent, helping out. Yeah. But actually, God planted seeds within me from that, which I'm now seeing the fruits of. So, you know, when it came to opening up, to be honest, that wasn't your first business, actually. You had businesses before that. So what inspired you to choose the business path? Because you had a professional career as well, but you've always been a business person. So what enabled you to really take the leap? Like, did you always have a passion for business? What made you start your journey of business? Because you've had numerous businesses.
So the thing was, when I met your dad, obviously it was my childhood sweetheart, and I started learning. He has this kind of knowledge that he loves to do business. So he would say to me, "Let's do this together," and then we started working together. So we started when we were in Nigeria. We were very young. So he would be my manager, then I would be somebody working under him. So I then was working on the field. So I would go to many companies, not even knowing what I was saying. I'll just form something. So because he was a printer, so then we can print. Printers make loads of money in Nigeria then. So I would go in there to tell them we can do labels, we do this, we do this. And from there on, my business idea started expanding, right? So that was the beginning and this, like my climbing ladder to do a business. Because if I look back to my own family, my family are just education family. They like to be educated, so they love education. You have to be a lawyer or you be a doctor, or you be all these kind. So, but the difference is that my mom also was in the educational part, but she would say that you can be whatever you want to be. That nothing can stop you. That education is good, but it's not everything. But have it as something that you keep in your pocket. If you want something else doing, go for it. So when I came to England, as I started working, I got myself educated. At the same time, I was working, and it got to a stage, and I looked at it that I don't like to be controlled by anybody. And I know I have this idea, I can do this. I was tied down when I lived in London, but when I came to England, to Kent, the doors opened for me. So when I got there, and I looked around, so if you want to do a business, look at what people are lacking of. You can't just open the business because you saw people do. What are they lacking of? So then you can catch in the business from there. So I looked around and I see that they don't have this. It's only one lady that has the business I was doing before, and then she was charging too much. So that inspired me. I ran the business for 8 years, if you can remember. That inspired me. So, and I will continue to do business because obviously there are other businesses I am doing now, which is the oil, and that goes on my eye street and things. I haven't expanded much on it, but yes, time I will do that. So those are the things that inspired me because I love to be my own boss because I'm in control.
Yeah. So what's the hardest lesson that you've learned in business, would you say?
The hardest lesson I've learned in business is for others, not for me. It's like some people don't know how to manage their businesses, so they can fall. But if you have good management, good team, you need a good team for your business to hold on. But when I was working, I was a lone worker. But with the help of God, I never failed with my businesses. I never failed. So once you know what you're doing, but my business wasn't a massive business where I would need to employ this, But I had some employers. But they never want to work.
No.
So I get myself, on the move. So I have my girls. Like I'll say to, Tomi, I have somebody who wants to do this hairstyle today. Would you be able to help me? Like if you finish at 2:00, I'll book this person for 3:00. You know what I mean? And then and what I do is, I'm sure you learned from me. What I do is that when the person pays me, then I said I wasn't the one that did the work. It's this person, and it goes to the till, but you get your money. So which is when you work honestly with your business as well, you thrive. So that's it. So that is one thing I can say, that if you don't have a good team behind you, then your business can fall. And don't trust anybody too much. Trust yourself. Make sure. I know it's not an easy task when you're running a business because you have to think of the task, employee, the overheads, a lot of things you have to pay out. But at the same time, if you work yourself, you've got timetable for the way you work. You are more organized. If you can be organized, then yes, then you will do well. So that's also your planning, your team in your head, and knowing the weaknesses of your employees. Because you have to know their weaknesses. It's very important. And they can disappoint you. They can tell you, I'm in today, and you may not even see them. So most businesses suffers. This is why now today there's zero contract. So if you stay, if you want to go, there's not like you don't need to give me 2 weeks or 1 week. It's a zero contract. So yes. So you must have that strategy to run your business.
And for my whole childhood, all I remember is being in church a lot. So, and experiencing different churches as well, which is also very good as an adult, because my childhood, I remember going to church, different churches, white garment churches, Catholic churches, Pentecostal churches, Shabbat we did on a Saturday. So, I feel like that's actually really helped me as an adult, because now I can go to a church and have a discernment quite quickly because of what I've seen in the past and what I've been exposed to. Whereas if somebody's not experienced church before, they might be like, oh, but I know white garment church. Or if somebody speaks badly on the church, I say, no, that's ignorant because I've been to white garment.
Yes.
And, so I feel like that's really helped in terms of my wisdom in churches and choosing churches.
Knowing the Lord as well.
Yeah, knowing the Lord. Yeah, it's not just, the Lord speaks to people in different ways and different, So, have you always been a Christian? Have you always had a relationship with the Lord? Or do you remember a time where you started to really, understand that, God is real? Or is it you've always been consistent from birth?
I think I was born as a Catholic. So, and then my grandmother would also make us to pray like every day. And I remember that when I was small, we have the picture of the so-called Jesus, being a Catholic, by the front door. So the door that leads you out. So whenever we want to go, every one of us go to school or go anywhere, we will stand like this and pray to God. So I think maybe God has ordained me from heaven to be somebody that loved God. So I've always been praying, So all my life, since I was in primary school, going to secondary school, coming here, getting married, all those things, I will always put God before me. But when you get to a certain age, you started having that good relationship with God, because God will just wake you up in the middle of the night, and I know why. Or you have this dream, or you see things, and then you just start to pray. So I think for anybody to be in my position, I think you are chosen from heaven, because I can't do anything I can't step out of my boundaries without God. I've done it before and I fell into a bad trap. And since I knew that God, and if God really loves you, He brings you back to the light. He doesn't allow you to go into the dark. So it's all my life with God. I wouldn't say, and my father was very prayerful as well. Even though my father was a Muslim, but he still believes in God and he believes in Jesus Christ, as you say. So all those, and then you won't believe this, like where we lived, when my grandmother was getting older, she didn't want to leave her house. So we had to move back to my grandmother's house. In that house, in front of so we were in the middle of a house like this, right? So this house is a church. The next door neighbor is a church. In front of my house is a mosque. So you can imagine that we're surrounded with all different faith. So if this one is singing the Cherubim and Seraphim song, we know it. If this one is singing the apostolic song, we know it. If this one is doing the Quran, we know it. And then we still have to go to our church as well, being a Catholic. So all these things, and you can see that even my brothers and sisters, they are all into God. So they brought us up strictly to be a Catholic, but they did not tell us not to live our life. They gave us an option that you have to serve God, but you have to live your life as well. Whereas some people will think that because I'm serving God, if I need a job, God will bring the job to me. So yes, so I was actually embedded in, surrounded with the love of God all my life. And the same thing I did with my children, I made sure you all go to church, you pray, you fast, knowing God will take you far, no matter what situation you are in this world, no matter how difficult it is. Once God is in your life, He will sort it out for you.
And what would you say to somebody that's maybe struggling with their faith right now? Maybe somebody's watching this and maybe they're struggling, or maybe they're going through a season of doubt. What would you say to that person?
Well, I'll say to that person that because we've all gone through a season of doubt, every one of us. I don't think there's any, even the priest, sometimes we go through the season of doubt. But the thing is that we must live with patience. Patience is very important, because my coming of God today may not be tomorrow. It could be the next 3 years. It could be the next 1 month. If God says I'm coming, I'm going to help you. Believe, have that faith, and work patiently with God. Don't go beyond your boundary. Because the moment you start to doubt, then that will be the beginning of your own failure as well. You will never get what you want to get. It will take a long time, because you are delaying your blessings by doubting. Just keep up the faith. Just say, I believe God has said it, it will come to pass. God is a man that can never lie. Neither is He a man that can repent. Have I not said it and it didn't come to pass? Everything He says surely come to pass. So do not doubt God. Have patience. Work faithfully with God. If you have to go to your room and cry and say, God, you've said it. I'm relying on you. I am weak. Make me strong. Just concentrate on communicating with God. God will help you.
Yeah, that's very good advice. Definitely. Yeah, like you say, everybody's been through it, so there's no shame. Ask God the questions, and He'll answer you. So, what would you say is one of your fondest childhood memories?
Oh, I have quite a lot really because in the primary school, my mother would have to, like when we wake up in the morning, right? There's a taxi that takes us to school. So we have to walk to the taxi park. And then in the morning when we're walking taxi park, we all sing along with our mom, we all have fun. My mother was very strict, but we still have fun, And then getting to school as well, primary school in Nigeria is different from primary school here. We have lots of plays, but at the same time, my fondest memory mostly is like when it rains, that we don't do any work at all. We stay by the window and we start singing nursery rhymes. Rain, rain, go away, come back, all this. So those are the times that I really enjoy. So when it rains like this in Nigeria, is we want to stay at the window and just sing. And in West Africa, I should say, there's more rain. It's like cold weather here. We get to a point like sometimes in July, we have 7 days rain that never stops. So you can imagine, people may not go to school. So we stay by the window. And then, yes, my secondary school fun wasn't really fun anyway because it was kind of hard work or something like that. I had more fun in primary school than secondary school. Secondary school, I've grown up, I have to help my mom. I had lots of 6 younger ones, so I have to help them. But then, obviously, being a naughty child sometimes when we go to school, when we close early, instead of us to go home, we go to our friend's house, we go and eat. So those are the little fun that I should have. We go to our friend's house, go and eat, play around, don't go home on time. Say that when I get home, I'm going to be working. So let me just have a little time with my friend out there. Yeah. But with all respect, we do have respect for our parents so much in Africa.
So, would you say that children of today are not like the children of your generation?
I'm going to say yes or no. Children of today will depend on how you train your child. If you train your child the right way, the Bible said they will not depart from it. So the children of today, the only difference is that they have too much gadgets to depend on. When even you were growing up, you've got friends. You can go to the park to go on the swing, to play with your friends, so many activities. But today, your activities are your gadgets. So those are the difference. But then we have to move on with life. This is the trend now. So if we don't move on, then obviously we'll be behind. So we have to follow that. But giving the children today the sense of understanding that this is not all to life. You know what I mean? When you were small, everybody would sit down together in the front room to watch TV. Now everybody has TV in their room. So parents are meant to check on their kids, So it's yes and no. It depends on how you train your child, But the only thing I see today is that many children do not have respect. They're microwave children because their parents don't have time for them. So you would have to sometimes to say some kids, can you not say hello? Whereas when you were small, before they came, you say, oh, hello auntie, hello uncle, you open the door for them. But children of today, parents do not have time for them, and the reason, and it's not that the parents are not with them. The parents are with them, but they are also doing their business on their thing. So, and they'll think that children are okay while they are also doing their thing. And it's not that they are doing it purposely. It's just something that doesn't come to their mind that I need to train this child. I need to make this child away from, like you said to your children, like you're not playing with the computer today. Like some children, some parents will just leave their children to be on it. So they have no time to train them until the child disgraces them. So these are the difference I can see,
I want to talk about health a little bit. So, as you're getting older, I remember there was a time I used to be a vegan for maybe 10 years. What is your opinion on health and food? Because you're somebody that's an advocate of, holistic healthcare, natural remedies. You healed yourself from many things, and I'm sure if you said things that you've healed yourself from, people won't even really believe you. So, when it comes to health, being the age you are, looking how young you look, I think it's due to your lifestyle, to be honest, and the way you take on life. Because there's many people your age that don't look the same, like you don't have the same, springiness as you do. So, what is your mindset on like consumption, your food consumption, how you manage your diet? Because you've all, even growing up, I remember I used to say like, oh, take cod liver oil, and if you have this, take garlic. You know, it's always natural. So yeah, I want to speak about that a little bit.
Right, my health. I before I became a vegan, I've always there's something I look at. I look at when I was in my 30s, I used to look at that. How would I look when I turned 40, 50, 60? And then I'll look back to magazines, you know, we've seen all the celebrities and we look at what they do. And I said, no. And then I look back to people in Nigeria, like when they're in their 40s, they look like certain age. So I started looking back to my health by saying, okay, now from now on, when I get to that age, I started taking supplements. And then I started reducing my salt. I started reducing salt. Then I will watch what to take, you know, and then I won't eat too much. So I eat more vegetables. Then I started going into naturalistic, like looking into natural food, something that can heal me, something that can make me look, you know, younger, even when I get to a certain age. And then I would eat everything natural. Then I went into vegan because of the religion where we were. And that opened my eyes as well. But being vegan is also different from having some natural food, because as far as I'm concerned, some vegan food, they will have to compound it, as to make it with chemical to make it, you know, like stay like eating the real meat. So, which was okay, but at a point I was losing some vitamins in me, which was vitamin B. You know, I was very, very
Deficient
in vitamin B. So then I decided to step away from vegan. Then I became a vegetarian. You know, so but all along I would look into taking garlic, ginger, turmeric, and lemon. You know, so those help me. So anything I want to eat, I'll make sure they're all organic.
Yeah.
So I won't eat anything that is inorganic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that has helped me. And with my children as well, I will always tell them to like, you know, eat this food, take this food. I won't stop you from eating some meat, but I will not allow you to take much meat. And I remember as we were growing up, I was thinking like, maybe because I wasn't that rich, but my senses would tell me that if you take too much sweet thing, it can affect you. So instead of me to buy you Coca-Cola when you were young, I will buy you dilute to taste. Remember? So, and that helped until you get to a certain age. And I was looking at healthy options and how some food had affected some children. I mean, children of your age or younger children had diabetes. And I said, oh my God. So I was doing my children a good favor because I won't buy you much McDonald's. I will buy burgers. I said, let's go and make it. And you eat as much as you want. I do not deprive you from eating that. And also your supplements will be there. You know what I mean? And not eating too much, but eat good food. And I also prefer to make home food rather than buying food out there. When I started eating, when I got to the habit, when our children grew up and I got to the habit of buying takeaway, I hated it so much because I can taste a lot of salt, a lot of things that can damage your health. And then I started reducing it. So I came back to my senses. You know what I mean? And then the natural stuff, because I decided to study more on natural stuff to see how you can heal yourself. So there was a time I was going through pain in my body. When you hit me, I will feel like that my body is sore. My whole body feels sore.
Wow.
And I know, because obviously during my nursing course, when people come in with that, we diagnose them with, it's either they have deficiency of one thing or the other. Or when they test them, they can say that they're having cancer inside their body. So my spirit will tell me what to do, you know? So when I started feeling that, then I started slowing down. So I started taking more natural food. Like I would take chlorella, you know, I would take bitter leaf, garlic, lemon, as much kojic.
Which one's that one?
Kojic fruits. Kojic fruit, so many fruits. I'll blend them together with spinach. You know, those are the things I would take in the morning. And I'll take natural yogurt. And then I'll do a lot of walking to ensure that I keep myself. Because I love to go to gym, but gym is not my, you know, because it's like, I'll be so excited to pay for gym. And I get to a stage, I don't want to do it anymore. You know, so I'd rather walk around, you know. So, but I do not leave my garlic, ginger, turmeric, lemon. I've never left them. So they've helped me. And also with the red one, what's it called?
Beetroot.
and so on and so forth. So they've helped me. So let me talk about how I healed my my thyroid.
Yes.
So I had a very bad thyroid, and I noticed that I would be itching my body. And then I was looking through the internet. I'll go to the internet and find out that what's going on with me. And there were so many diagnostic. If you are itching, you have kidney problem.
Yeah.
If you are itching, you have liver problem.
Yeah.
So I kept on going to my doctor that, please, can you check my kidney? Maybe I have kidney problem. They carried out so many tests. They found nothing. They went for my the liver. They found nothing. They went to my tummy. They said there was something that stuck in my intestine. Maybe my food was stuck in my, because I used to feel pain on my right that maybe there's something wrong with me. They gave me tablets. I didn't take the tablet because whenever they give me tablets, I go and read the pros and cons, the side effects. And I saw this one would destroy me, so I didn't take it. So anyway, then I started taking cumins. I was watching what I was taking. I would take onions. I use onion because most people that have thyroid, they'll have like, there's inner thyroid, but my thyroid wanted to come out. You see, it was kind of protruding here, but no, I treated it myself. So I will use onion. You use onion to rub it, and then you wrap your neck with onion before you sleep in the night.
Wow.
And then you take onion drink with cumins, and that helped me. Many more that I took, obviously, because I'm not a doctor, so I cannot recommend anything for anybody.
Yeah.
But you can try it out if you want, but I'm not advising you. If you want to do anything, you ask your doctor. But this is how I cured myself. It worked for me, you know, and I take a lot of citrus, which is like orange, you know, and then I cut down on my meat. There was a time I would not eat meat at all. I went on to white meat. And then I realized that the white meat in this country as well seems like it's never fresh taste. It's like I'm eating meat. So then I stopped fish and meat. So I was taking mushroom.
Wow.
So mushroom, you know, with anything mushroom, everything I cook would be with mushroom. Is either I shallow fry it, or I cook it fresh, you know, with a lot of vegetables and carrots, you know, and then I'll take a lot of water. I'll take a lot of water. And then when I went to Nigeria, I think I was not really looking after my diet. I was working too much. So I can feel that the thyroid was coming again. Then I went back to my diet. So when I came back here, I went to see my GP, and my GP said my thyroid came up a bit. That I needed to, you know, they said, okay, go for a test. So I went for the test, and then they gave me this tablet to take. And I took the tablet for a while. Then I went back to my normal diet. I started fighting it. I was taking tinsel milk. I was taking everything that I needed to take. I was watching my diet. I would sleep on time. I would do enough exercise, you know. I would do body stretching, neck stretching, so on and so forth. So after 3 months, my GP called me and said, I need to carry out an intensive checkup. So then I went to the specialist hospital somewhere in London. And then they carried out a big scan on me, massive scan. They looked into my neck, they looked into my throat, they looked into every part of my body. And then I was waiting for them to call me back after a month. I called my doctor. I said, I've been for the test that you told me to go for. And he said, Mr. Lissy, what do you eat? What do you take? There's nothing wrong with you. I've never seen anybody that has this kind of thyroid last month or 3 months ago, and now we couldn't see anything. And I said to him that this is the help of God. I said, I will pray on what I want to eat, and I will follow the right diet. I'll sleep right. And another thing that helped me is that I would not argue with you unnecessarily. I will not carry the burden that is not mine. Anything that is pertaining to me is what I will discuss. Anything that is not mine, I shove it in the bin. And I don't allow anybody's stress to get on me. Because I look at it that my life is my life. Your life is your life. And the way you want your life is the way you will work it out. So if you work it out to suit you, fine. If you work it out and it suits you, but something happened, then don't be ashamed to rework it out.
Exactly.
You know, so also part of stress will make you to have thyroid as well. And one thing that also brings thyroid is the the spray you spray in your house, all those
Air freshener.
air fresheners, too much Dettol, all those things also brings thyroid to you. Environmental factors.
Environmental, yeah.
So we have to be very careful not to have thyroid. Not to develop thyroid. Because today in my house, if you look at air freshener, I use natural air freshener. I'll make them myself. So that makes it easier for me. Yeah.
That's really good advice for anybody that, you know, is maybe suffering with something. You have nothing to lose by trying the healthy option first. Trying the natural option first. Nothing to lose. Not saying don't go to doctor, but see what natural remedies you can use to heal yourself, because many people have done it successfully. So you know, so as we're rounding up now, I mean, what advice would you give to, you know, somebody that is, you know, maybe in a position that, you know, maybe that all their kids have left home and, you know, they're feeling like they don't have any purpose, or maybe things are feeling, they're going through a different phase, or like life has seasons, right? So, you know, you're in that season, the emptiness season. What advice would you give to that woman that's watching this and maybe they're feeling a little bit purposeless about their kids around?
Before they got to this stage, there's one thing they need to know. Me, I look ahead of time. I know it's going to happen. And then as the children are growing, you've got kids now, you start looking at their characters. You're like, this one has this character, this one has this character. When they were really little, you don't see much. But they're getting to certain stages, you say, oh, this one has this character. So I started looking at, okay, now, as these children will be leaving home, what's my life going to be? Part of it was while I went to Nigeria, but it didn't work for me. So I came back here. Get yourself educated for future. Get yourself involved in other activities, you know, travel, you know, make yourself happy. It's not about having partners. Some people will think they need to have partners. It's not about partners. It's you making yourself happy. Happiness comes from you. It's free. Nobody's going to give it to you. You can't buy it from anybody. You can't get it from your children. You've got to work out your happiness. So I work out my happiness and I will do what suits me. And also getting enough rest, reading, researching, you know, get into activities. And when you get to a certain age like me, obviously I'm free now, so I can do many things that I wanted to do at a stage, because your children will capture you at a certain age. You don't have that free hand to do things. This is the time for you to do so many things. So travel, read, research, you know, get into church activities, you know, and do not carry people's stress. Let people carry their stress themselves, but be there to give them advice. If your advice is not working for them, tell them you're sorry and move back. But don't carry anybody's burden on you. Have God also to keep you going forever and ever. Then you'll be happy.
Wow. Well, I think that's a very good place to finish. Thank you so much, Mum, for answering the questions. Thank you guys for being part of the podcast. And, you know, put your comments down if you have any questions, or also comment to say what you enjoyed most about this podcast.
Thanks for watching, and please do leave comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Bye.